What's up, Saturday Nerves? It's your boy, the OG GM, coming to you live from April Fool's. So who knows where I am? It's about 8:30 in the morning. It is the first day of April, which means the lines are now forming to go see Honor Amongst Thieves. We're getting the initial reviews and initial reactions and initial funding, and it doesn't look like it's going to make the whatever. So this went live on D&D Beyond today, but because it's April Fools, I don't know if this is serious or not, but apparently they have tried to stat out in D&D terms some of the items that have appeared in the movie. Which, why? I don't need to know how it works. I just need to know it works. I mean, there's a reason why Aliens is such a perfect movie, because everything in there works, and everything is used. Star Wars. We don't need to know how the lightsaber works. We just know that it works. You can explain it over time. And still to this day, which is kyber crystals and the Force. And I don't know how a lightsaber works. Do you? How does that work in outer space? How does that cut through everything? That makes no sense, but it works because it's a lightsaber. So they've tried to stat out the magic items into D&D terms. And it's kind of like, well, why? It's kind of like telling us where the Easter eggs were when they were doing the last interview about the Easter eggs. And I was like, well, if you tell me they're Easter eggs and you tell me where they are, it ruins the point of having an Easter egg. The Easter egg is something some people get it, some people don't, some people catch it, some people don't, some people have to watch it 2 or 3 times before they catch it, some people don't catch it. Let's just talk about this week's episode of The Mandalorian. There's like 8 Easter eggs, of which maybe most people caught 1. So if you tell me it's an Easter egg, it's no longer an Easter egg. If you tell me how the item in that works, it ruins the mystique of the item. So, but since it's April Fool's, is this a joke or are you serious? Okay, so the first one is the helmet. This is the helmet that I guess the sorcerer rares. And apparently it is an artifact. It's called the Helm of Disjunction. It was made by Morna Caden, and it destroys magic items. And it basically shoots out anti-magic. It destroys potions, scrolls, magic items. It can destroy spells. It can emit a wave of force that knocks people back. And it's everything in a 300-foot square. So I guess this sorcerer is walking around with something that would disjunct his own magic and the magic of opponents. And why would Mordenkainen ever make something that could be used against him? I don't know. Why did Sauron make the ring, knowing that at some point in time it's going to be used against him? Then we have this staff. I don't know who uses this in the movie, but basically it lets you teleport. So it's makes portals. A bunch of people walk through it. Then another people walk through it. This is called the Hither-Thither staff. And this is, of course, also an artifact, because everybody in the movie has artifacts. Even though they're supposed to be a ragtag band of incompetents, they've all got artifacts. Then we've got this artifact, the Horn of Beckoning Death. It creates a fog that fills a 30-foot radius. And any creature that has 9 or fewer hit points when it ends in the cloud is slain by the beckoning death. A human killed in this way instantly transforms into a zombie, and the zombie command can be used to be commanded by the creator of the horn, Zastam. The horn can only be used once a year. So it's a 30-foot sphere that doesn't move with the horn. At the start of your turn, the sphere increases radius 30 feet. The cloud it disappears after 10 minutes, or if you stop concentrating on it. So I guess if you stop blowing it, well, I mean, Zastam, he doesn't need to breathe. So how is he blowing a horn? Because he doesn't, but whatever. Now it doesn't do any damage. So basically it just makes this cloud. So as long as, I guess if you did it on a village where the average hit points are 8, NPC starting hit points, 6 to 8. So yeah, I mean, if you just went into the middle of Bodunk Frogdale and blew it, assuming that everybody in Frogdale has 68 hit points, they'd all be dead and they'd all turn into zombies. But if you like walked into Neverwinter or Waterdeep, where everybody is an epic level NPC, you'd just be walking around with this crimson cloud following you, and maybe a couple dogs would keel over. Then we have the Red Wizard Blade, which of course I guess is used by the Red Wizard, who, if seemingly because it simply just is a Red Wizard in the movie, you are automatically my favorite character in the movie, even if I don't see the movie, because I fucking love the Red Wizards of Thay. They are my favorite D&D bad guys. So this is a dagger made from necromantic steel that does an extra 3d12 necromantic damage or 66 extra necromantic damage. And anybody who dies from this cannot be resurrected. No wonder this is legendary, because if all the Red Wizards in Thay had this, they would have won way more fights than they had. 6d6 plus a d4 necrotic damage. Give that Red Wizard of Thay one level of thief, and they're doing 66 plus a d4 plus backstab. Very few people are going to walk away from these. So ask Tam, why didn't you mass produce this? You would have won every fight. There's a cannon, a Gatling gun shooting out these blades. But don't worry, because there's also an artifact that appears in the movie that will counteract that, called the Tablet of Reawakening. It was made by wizards to counteract the necromancy of the Red Wizards, which can cast True Resurrection, but it can only be used once. So you would need an infinite amount of these to counteract the infinite amount of daggers. But I guess in movie terms, one person has the dagger, so you only need one True Resurrection. And then, of course, there's the choice. Who do we resurrect? Do we resurrect her? Do we resurrect him? Do we resurrect the dog? Resurrect the dog. Now, I'm pretty sure there are more things in the movie that appear other than this. Doesn't the Paladin have some weird dagger sword thing? We also have this. Let's see if this has changed since the last time we looked at it. Nope. Dork, they have not changed this. Still the same nonsensical stats. She is still, a CR5 with 104 hit points, or 16d8 plus 32. I don't even know why you bothered listing the weird math there. Why do I need to know she has 16d8 plus 32 hit points? Just bam, she's got 100 hit points. We don't have to explain it, because why are we trying to justify the movie with D&D stats? It's a movie. You don't have to justify it. And then you also get some kind of digital dice for those of you who rolled dice in D&D Beyond. I don't know why you would roll dice in D&D Beyond, unless for the few scenarios that work on D&D Beyond, which soon won't be working anymore, but okay. So are we impressed by these? Do we care about these? Is this like, are you going to throw these in your game? I guess that's what they're expecting, because we know they think that everybody who goes sees the movie is going to want to play D&D, and they're going to want to play characters just like the characters of D&D, and they're going to want to have the characters have the exact same things that the characters in the movie had, and they're going to whine and cry. And of course, because of the new rules that Wizards of the Coast expects you to follow regarding players and player advocacy and giving the players what they want, then you just have to say, sure, your first level villager with a 22-page backstory can start the play with an artifact that would technically counter your abilities as a sorcerer. And why would Mordenkainen make an artifact that could be intentionally used against him? I don't know. Why did Sauron make the one ring that could eventually be used against him? Hubris. Mordenkainen had hubris. He doesn't assume that anybody's going to use against him. He assumes that his followers are going to use it against his enemies, and none of them are going to go, wait, I can just use this against you and steal all your shit, right? Hubris, I guess, is the explanation for why Mordenkainen would make this. So, yeah, what do you think about these? Do you even care? Is this an April Fool's joke, or are these serious? Can we expect everybody who shows up at our 5e table tomorrow going, I want a character just like the movie, and I want my character to have that helmet. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to cry. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's at least one game out there where that's going to happen, because you've completely ruined D&D, Wizards of the Coast. Thank you. I'm sure there's some other April Fool's jokes floating around on the internet today, but I haven't seen that many. I guess people are getting kind of tired of them. They don't really, April Fool's doesn't really have the wheels it used to. And when they were first doing the April Fool's joke on lines, they were clever because nobody was expecting them, and people took like, wait, is that real? But after like the 5 years, where people are like, it's April Fool's, we know you're going to do something stupid, Google or whatever, so I don't care. So yeah, I haven't seen any yet. If you have, let me know. If you think you're going to add these items to your game in some form, let me know. If you don't think you're going to add these items to your game somehow, let me know. Obviously, Red Wizards of Thay, my favorite is the dagger. What are you thinking? Where do you stand? Do you even care about the movie? I don't. I'm just interested to see what kind of money it makes, but I don't think it's going to spawn a whole new generation of players. I don't think it's going to really affect the direction the game is going. There might be a spike in interest, but for like long-term people showing up and wanting to play every week and expecting the game to be just like the movie, I doubt it. But I mean, there are people who still expect the game to be like Critical Role, so I might be wrong. I don't really know. I don't really care. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. Other stuff. Monkeys, what do you think of the items? Have a great Saturday. I'll talk to you later. April Fools, so be safe.